All right, guys, and welcome to the Grip League final Q&A and events reveal with me and Laura. We've managed to get a bit of time together and finally sort of decided on the events. So we're just going to go through all the questions that came through on Instagram and just try and address a few things as well as revealing all the events. So Laura's got the questions here.
I do. So first question was from Edben. Where is it and how much?
How much?
Is it to enter?
Well, you've already paid your entrance fee, so it's free. And the final is at Ormskirk School on the 3rd of August at 9:30 a.m.
Okay. He has also asked, will the lifts be the same type as the qualifier?
Sort of. So it's different events, but it's all grip. We're trying to sort of test each area of your grip strength, like your pinch, crush, support. So they're all in the final, as well as a few extra little bits.
Harley has asked, what are the lifts?
Soon, you'll find out soon.
Yorkshire Grip and Yorkshire Grip 1 trying to get in a few of their favourite events. So is the triple barrel the first or the second event?
Neither.
Unfortunately not. And Yorkshire Grip 1 wants to know how many attempts with the dynamometer can he have?
Well, we were actually thinking about putting the dynamometer in because it is quite a cool one. I know it might have been a couple of years ago, there was a scale press event which was really different. You basically got a pair of scales and squeezed it as hard as you could. And I kind of like the idea of that, but it's also maybe a bit boring to watch because no one can really see what's going on. You're just getting a score on a digital screen. And just going back to the triple barrel as well, the reason we haven't put that in is because it's a little bit too easy to cheat on it, really. You can get a bit too much tilt by going to one side or the other of the barrel. And yeah, it's just one of those that's a little bit more difficult to referee. Do you agree?
I do agree. I feel like with the events that we have picked, we've tried to make it as
easy
a
to
level
referee.
playing field,
Yeah.
and as easy to referee as possible. So it makes it nice and fair for everyone. Okay. So Fat Muscle Coaching has said, when are the events being released?
Today.
Sorry. And Emma has asked, are all weight classes going ahead, or will you have over and under 75 kilos split like you did last year? Which is a very good question.
Yeah, this is one where a lot of people have different opinions. I think we should really merge some of the women's categories to make it more competitive, because there's no point in my eyes having 3 people come when really you know the outcome before you've even participated. I think you're better combining sort of 3 people and 4 people to make 7 than have 2 people, really. What do you think?
I feel like there are a couple of weight categories that are quite competitive and people haven't qualified in those, but then obviously there are other weight categories where everyone qualified because there was only 2 or 3. Yeah. So I am kind of in two minds what the best thing to do. I feel like the best thing to do is invite everyone that qualified and then just see how many people actually want to come to the final.
Yeah.
Before we make a decision, because that's what kind of forced our hand to make the decision last year, because there was a lot of women that dropped out, whereas if those women hadn't have dropped out, it wouldn't have been split into those 2 categories. It would have been the categories you'd entered.
Yeah. Let's say if there's less than 3 women in one category, we'll put them up or down. But yeah, we'll work it out, see how many women are actually going to come. Because we had loads that entered, but just
I think there was over 25 women this year that entered. And the majority of people have got through to the final because I suppose we've had so many categories in the women's. But it just depends whether they can come.
Yeah, maybe we'll invite all the women and then send like a poll out to you all, and you can all vote, and then once you've all voted, then that'll be it.
Yeah, good idea. Big Willie has asked, what is the venue and what are the events? So if you just keep watching, you'll find out the answers to those. Miles, is it true the Masters class was invented to hear Grey Will shout, "Sweet baby Jesus"? I think so.
That is the only reason.
I think we have a couple more. Just going through Baby George spam. The Grip Father has said, what happens if I weigh more on the day? Well, luckily for yourself, you're in the highest category.
Yeah.
But if you do weigh more on the day,
Yeah.
if you are in the lower categories, what will happen?
So this is a question that we got last year and didn't really know the answer to. We spoke to Paddy last year about it, and he said they had to compete in the category they weighed at. But I think if someone misses their weight category, like say someone's cut down to 93 and they turn up and they're like 105, they should have a points penalty. So I think for every kilogram off you are, maybe you docked a point overall.
Or half a point, maybe. You could be, just might not bother competing if you're going to do 1 point. But I think most people, I know quite a lot of people cut weight to get to the weight they wanted to be for the qualifier. So if people are going to be that strict for the qualifier, I think they're going to take the final even stricter.
But I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll dock a point for every kilogram.
Under or over?
Yeah.
I think over is
doesn't
not...
matter. Surely. It's only over.
Okay.
Good question by myself. Thank you.
Last question is, do we get a competition t-shirt?
No, unfortunately not. Because all the entry goes on pretty much paying for all the events, renting the venue and setting everything up and all that stuff.
Prize money.
Prize money, yeah. So
equipment, extra equipment that we need.
Yeah, unfortunately
which will all
not.
make sense when you know how we're the format of how we're going to run the competition.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we normally run it here, we just need one loading pin, one set of weights, one piece of equipment, as in an implement. But to make the competition a bit more exciting and run better than normal, we need to invest in a lot more equipment to make this happen. So unfortunately, no t-shirts. If anyone wants to make their own, feel free. We can provide our logo if they want that on there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because I know Scott and Brett made their own for the final last year. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in, just let us know. Yeah. But they're all the questions we have had, I believe.
Do you think of any others that people ask? I think it's just like, where is it?
But I think that's what people just want to know. So it's, like Tom's already said, competition is going to be Ormskirk High School. Postcode and everything will be put on the website. You can arrive from 9 AM. We're going to start latest 10:15.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we really want to be starting 9:30. So make sure you're there early enough to be able to weigh in.
Yeah, start at 10 o'clock, but we'll say quarter just to...
Yeah, just to hurry some people along. Yeah. If people want some accommodation information, you know, if you're travelling from a long way away, I can have a look around and put some prices together and like postcodes and stuff. If you need to know, if you're not like familiar with the area. So the events, Tom. Okay. We've got 6 events.
We have got 6 events. So the plan is, it's basically, we've got the area from 9 till 5 roughly. So if we kick off at 10, then we're planning an hour per event with an hour's lunch break in between. That takes us to the end of the day. That's the plan. So I'll try and put a little video or some pictures of what we're talking about on the screen so you can kind of get a rough idea of what the events are before we do the full events reveal, going through all the rules and stuff like that. But the first one is a new one. I say a new one, we made it nearly half a year ago and it's just been in the shed here. Everyone's been having a go on it, absolutely loving it. And we thought it's the perfect time to sort of release it. It's called the Tip Blaster and it's sort of a 2-handed deadlift / pinch style lift. Really difficult on the fingers and the thumb. We think this is a lot fairer than doing an axle deadlift, because I know a lot of people struggle with the weight off the floor and with the back.
Yeah,
basically.
the deadlift is the issue, not the grip.
Yeah, so we were thinking about doing an 18-inch deadlift, which would be quite good. But then we also thought this is probably one step further and even more sort of on your grip.
Yeah, it's very grueling on your fingers. You can lift big numbers.
Yeah.
But it is very, I felt when I tried it, finger dependent.
Yeah.
Which then kind of takes it, like, kind of balances it out from the people with the bigger and the smaller hands.
Yeah. You still need a very strong back and legs to lift it, because like the open category, you're going to be getting 150 kilos plus on it, aren't we? Like,
I think the open ladies would get over 100,
I do
120
as well.
kilos.
Yeah. So it's still a big lift, but it's just a bit fairer, I think. And it also takes out the equation of having to give a down signal for a lockout, which
definitely
I hate, because you see it so many times. We don't want any dubious calls. We want everything to be fair. So it's just going to be a 6-inch lift up to the crossbar, touch the crossbar, lower it down. That's it, isn't it? Each event will have its own referee, so you are going to have a referee anyway, just to make sure that there's no cheating going on, everything touches correctly. But that's it really. The way we're going to do it is a rising bar. You can come in and out as you like. We're not going to do 3 lifts, because it'll just get too complicated with the amount of people. You can just come in, we'll call your name, you either say, yeah, I want to lift this, or no, I want to pass it. That's isn't it?
I personally think whoever's running the event will just like say, for example, 20 kilos. If you want to go do 20 kilos, you go do it. You'll have a number or your name on, so the referee will know who to put the score next to. And then if you're like, oh, that was really easy, want to jump to 50, then just wait until 50 kilos is called. There doesn't need to be a huge interaction between you and the scorer. The number or the name on your t-shirt will allow them just to be able to score effectively. I'm thinking also we'll have 1 ref and 1 scorer per event.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that'll be 3 in the morning and then the same 3 in the afternoon, but they'll pair up.
Yeah. I think we'll do 5 kilo jumps for it, because it is going to be, like I said, it's going to be up to like maybe 170.
I think we do 5 kilo jumps until we potentially get to the last 2 or 3, and then if they want to go into smaller increments to try and beat the other person, I think that's okay. But I think for the main part, 5 kilos.
We'll see. So, second event?
Is, so, could be 2 different ones at the moment. So it's either going to be the vertical bar hold with the horn top made from David Horn, or it could be the Atlas vertical bar medley.
Well done. Yeah, so the vertical bar hold is, we like chucking a hold in because it's testing everyone's endurance. The horn top's quite a difficult one to lift. It's similar to this cone. I don't have it here, I've left it in the shed.
No, that's the big
it's a similar shape to this, but it's really hard to cheat on it because it's on the fixed loading pin. You can't get any sort of tilt on it. The maximum weight for this is only 65 kilos, so it's quite a lot less than the Dynamite vertical bar, but like I said, it is harder, so it could be that. We want to do that head to head, really, just because I feel like it gives you that bit more motivation. Maybe we'll put you face to face, or slightly angled together, instead of you just doing it on your own. I feel like head to head's a bit better, and it's a bit more exciting to watch as well.
Yeah.
So it'll either be that or the Atlas vertical bar medley, which is a set of Spartan Atlas stones from 50 up to 150 kilograms. They have like a lug on the top, and you're basically going to have your dynamite stick or vertical bar. We'll probably use the dynamite stick, to be honest, and then you start at 50 and work your way up to 150. And whoever gets the highest weight in the quickest time obviously scores the most points for that. I feel like that'll be a really good one. Something different, isn't it? And I'm expecting people to actually get 150 on that.
Yes.
Because you're lifting from a slightly higher sort of loading pin.
How heavy was the one at Spartan with the thick bar on it? Is that over 100?
No, don't think it. I think it was 80.
It felt good.
Yeah, that was the one they were practicing for the Giants
The
Live.
dumbbell thing, wasn't it?
Kettlebell. Was it Giants Live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kettlebell
Yeah.
press. So that's the second event. Slightly, we're just waiting for a price basically to see if we can afford it. We would really like to do that one.
We will get the Atlas stones eventually. We might not
Yeah.
get as many if we're just going to get them for the gym for people to use. But the super cool, we've seen them. We like them.
Yeah.
It just depends on.
It's a good
on the
spectacle
budget.
for the crowd, that as well.
I
isn't
think
it?
so, yeah.
So
Also with the horn top, and to make it a valid lift again, it has to be over the 5 seconds. Don't let Tom time, could screw you right over. So yeah, just so you're aware of that, and it'll just be just one go.
yeah, I think
we'll start at the heaviest, like we do for all.
No, I think you get
holds.
three goes.
But yeah, starting at the heaviest, going down if needs be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the way it's going to be is sort of when you've finished on the first event, you'll just move straight over onto the second event and have your go on that. It's the only way we can get through that. I think it's 55 people.
Yeah.
It's the only way we can get through 55 people. We can't wait for the first event to finish and then move on to the second.
Yeah.
Whoever finishes on the first event will go on to the second. Once you finish the second, you'll go over to the third.
Yeah. I think we'll do like a 10-15 minute. You have to start the second event within 10-15 minutes. So you can obviously need the toilet, need to whatever, get a drink, get a little bit bite to eat. That's perfectly fine. But 10-15 minutes, then move on to your next event. Yeah,
we will write all this out on a big document, so you've got it all to study and read. I'm sure
It is, once you kind of see it written down, it is easier to understand.
Third event is one I'm really excited for, actually, and it's one that I've always wanted to put in a grip competition because it's such a massive part of grip, and we never do it, and you never really see it in competitions. But it's a hand gripper medley. So I know a lot of people are going to be saying, "Oh, at this," because it's something they don't use, but it is such a big part of grip that we have to put it in, really. Do you not think?
I think so, yeah. I think quite a lot of people may disagree. I don't think people think hand grippers test your grip, but they definitely do.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a lot of technique.
It is. There's plenty of videos out there that Tom's done to help you with technique if you need. So don't feel like you need to go into the event blind. There's a lot of information out there. You can also come to the shed and use the array of hand grippers to train with before. We're not too fussed with that either. So all the hand grippers, I'm trying to read what Tom's written here.
There's going to be 16 hand grippers in total. We're going to rate them all, so it'll be like RGC rated from 50 up to £200.
Yeah.
So that's like starting roughly at our elite number 1 and going up slightly past a captain's of crush number 4. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to split them into like 4s. So for your first 4, you get 60 seconds to close it. Then you get another 60 seconds to close the next 4. And then if you close those 4, you get another 60 seconds to close the next 4. And if you manage to close those 4, you get another 60 seconds to close the last 4. So you get 4 minutes in total to close all 16 hand grippers. If you finish the first ones in 30 seconds, that just adds on to your time. So you've then got 90 seconds to do the next 4.
Yeah, so the time carries over.
Yeah, it's going to be a 30mm set. So that means you can set the hand gripper to 30mm and then close it. The way this is going to be refereed is you're going to set it, the referee will say, okay. You'll close it, he'll then say, okay, and then you can open it. That'll be a good rep. It's similar to sort of up, down, sort of, isn't it?
Yes.
But we feel like that's plenty of time. It's almost 15 seconds per hand gripper because we don't really want people rushing so much on this because that's when it's difficult for the refs. So if you've got 15 seconds to get it in, set it nice and easy, then
you don't want to feel like you're fumbling trying to, like I know when I feel like I'm in a rush to get the hand gripper set in this hand, get the setting block comfortable in this hand, but also use my fingers on the setting block hand to try and bring it in enough. So we've tried to eliminate the...
You can skip one hand gripper, so if you started at the £50, you could then skip onto the £70, onto the £90, onto the 110. if you wanted, but you're obviously taking a risk there by going up. You can't go back once you've gone up.
Yeah.
So that should make sense. A really good event there. I do like the look of that. I think it'll be interesting. It will be timed as well per hand gripper, so if someone gets to hand gripper number 5 in 40 seconds, they'll obviously beat someone that gets there in 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, then it'll be the lunch break. We're looking at kind of doing a bit of food, aren't we?
Potentially. I think we need to see if people would be interested
Yeah.
in this, because there's another huge cost if people aren't going to be bothered. I know quite a lot of people do bring food with them. It won't be a barbecue, obviously, because unfortunately we'll be at a school. So that may sway people's minds as to whether they want food or not.
Yeah.
So drop us a comment down below. Let us know whether that is something you'd be interested in, and we see what we can do on that. But it'll be an hour's lunch break. As soon as you finish your third event, your hour will start from then.
Yeah.
So I've just said this to Tom. Oh, that means the person reffing the hand gripper medley won't then get a break. They won't get the break at the same lunchtime as everyone else, because they'll still be going through that. But the person reffing and scoring the hand gripper medley will then only ref and score the last event.
Yeah.
So they then have the break throughout the 4th and the 5th event. But like we said, we'll get everything written down so you can visually see it, because there's a lot to take in.
Yeah. So event number 4 is the 2-handed pinch hold with a 60mm block. Again, we were thinking Saxon bar, but it just eliminates that lockout. Even in Sweden in December, there was some dubious calls, you know, little slips at the top. With the crossbar, it just makes it so much easier. And to be honest, most people lift narrow anyway, so it's pretty much the same as using the 2-handed block anyway, isn't it?
Did you mean the hold, or did you mean...
We're doing a max lift.
Yeah, you just said a hold though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a max lift on this as well, rising bar. Same as the first event. We're just going to keep going up until you fail. For this, it's probably going to be 2.5s, like we usually do with a pinch block.
Yes.
Which I think.
Yeah, 200, 60mm pinch block.
Then again, we could be getting
2.5
up to like 130 on it.
That's okay, because people will come in relevant to what they want to do, won't they? So.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, nice 60mm 2-handed pinch lift.
Yeah,
I like it.
pretty
nice.
straightforward. Nice and easy, straightforward. So the 5th event will be rolling handle medley.
Nice.
Some of you will have seen it in Sweden. We really like this event. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, that'll probably go up in 5s. Yeah. So we'll say, for example, have 15 loading pins, all with the weights going up in 5 kilos. You will lift your first one. You can skip the second, but like we've said previous with the hand gripper, if you do skip, you can't go back down. So don't get cocky with it. You got to think like maybe you can skip the lower ones, but maybe don't when it's getting higher. But you need to take your rolling handle and carabiner with you. Okay, so also bear that in mind, that you kind of keep composed, keep focused on what you're doing, and take it with you. Don't let that kind of affect your lifting. Just remember to take it with you so you don't lose any time. There'll be, I will probably have like on the top of each like a little stamp sign with the weights on, so people know, and also it's good for people recording, people know what the weights are and stuff. Yeah,
I haven't noted the weights down there, but I think, again, we'll probably use the 50mm rolling handle. Yeah. It's the fairest for everyone. We'll look at what the lowest lift was from the qualifiers and probably put that as the starting weight.
Yeah, I think probably the best place to start is about 40. I think that makes it fair.
We'll see what.
Because you don't want to be starting at someone's like highest. So I think you maybe need to start a little bit lower.
I think the worst person we should start at that weight, because then you know they're getting.
But that's their best. They might have that might have only done that once.
Yeah, no, but they're only really deserving of 1 point if they're the worst at that event. But yeah, we'll figure out the weights for that. It's probably going to be from, like Laura said, probably 40 up to maybe 140. I think 128 was the most by Tiny, of course. So we might just try and tease him up to 140 maybe. Do you think? See if you can get it.
Possible.
You never know, do you? Once you're in the flow. So that'd be 10 loading pins, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice. Again, that's a nice event. It's a nice crush event there. We were going to do the Thomas Inch medley, but we just don't have enough, which is really frustrating. If we can somehow get our hands on them, we might try and put that in instead of the rolling handle medley, but it looks like it is going to be the rolling handle medley at the moment, 50 mil. Of course, the last event is
the blob medley.
Head-to-head York Legacy blob medley.
Starting at half 15, running up to the half 50 with
a bonus.
with a bonus blob, the whole 30.
Yeah. So that is
See
how
if we
many.
can tempt anyone.
That's a lot. It's maybe 16.
It's like
yeah, it's like
I think
13
it's 13 or
something.
14, yeah.
But that's a lot of blobs. It's the last event of the day, so it's going to be really tough to finish it, I think. Even though, you know, I'd be quite confident on blobs. You're 5 events deep, and it's going to be a really long day. But we think it's a good one to finish on, head-to-head especially. The way it's going to be, it should be running through, so the people who are at the bottom,
yeah, we'll do it first.
Start first, head-to-head. This will be one where everyone's sort of gathered together at the end. We'll call you out to go head-to-head. So it should work out that whoever's battling for top spot in the categories should go head-to-head for the win kind of thing. Yeah. If it works out that way, I think.
Yeah, we'll be working it out as best as we can, as quick as possible to get it that way.
Yeah.
We might have to take a little break in between event 5 and event 6 to get those, so it is a good competitive event. The last one everyone can actually watch instead of them focus on an event before. Then they can go head to head. We can all cheer everyone on and finish. That's like, it's a very, very good event to finish on. I think it's like not too long, not too short. Like there's
fast paced.
There's definitely places for error if people aren't concentrating. Some of these blobs get thick. It's not the weight that's the problem, it's the thickness that catches people out. Yeah. So they'll be like, oh, that's only 20 kilos, why can't I lift it? But it's jumped up a good inch or so from the one before, so it does make it slightly harder. We know that these are quite hard to come by for people to practice. So if you do want to practice, then again,
your best thing is just on a pinch block, a wide, like the 80mm pinch block, just something nice and wide. That's your best bet, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
I'd say so. There's nothing really, you know, it's mainly these 3 that you're most important for lifting blobs. So if you're going to practice on a wide pinch block, just do that really, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Your claw. We have run out of blob trainers, so we probably won't get any more before the final. So, but we have to put the blobs in because we've got so many and it's a cool event. Are we going to do I think we'll do some kind of tiebreaker instead of a count back. No one wants a count back.
No.
I think we'll maybe take a pair of rolling farmer's handles and do like another hold, something like that.
Yeah. Or we could make a new grip pad, a summary grip pad.
So it's a bit stupid though. This is a serious competition, this one, isn't it? The traffic cone hold. Imagine
we could definitely think league something.
Final traffic. Yeah, I think we'll do, if there is any ties, instead of doing count back, we'll do, you know, another head-to-head battle. Yeah. Because count back's just a bit
boring, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, that's the event. I think it's a really nice selection of events there, testing pretty much every area of your grip strength. If we do get rid of the vertical bar hold, there's plenty of medleys in there, which is going to be testing your endurance out anyway. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the event, isn't it?
It is.
Is there anything else to mention?
I don't think so. Obviously, if there's any more questions that come from the information we've told, drop us a DM. We'll put up another question and answer on Instagram. Yeah. just to see if there is any more, or you can drop us a comment and we'll reply to all the comments on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll get the invites out this week to everyone that's qualified, and then we know how many people are coming.
Yeah. Which then help us answer Emma's question.
Yeah. To excite everyone a little bit more, I got an email from Beast Farm saying everyone who comes to the final gets a little shaker filled with a load of little samples and stuff.
Nice.
So
that's exciting.
That's exciting. But pretty much everyone who places in the top 3 gets decent prizes and a bit of money as well. So that's good. We'll work all that out, put it in the big document, a breakdown of the prizes for each category and stuff. We are going to do overall winners, which will win as well. And we're going to try and work out bodyweight winners, which will be good as well. Both men and women.
Tom will also do a video of a little run through of the events, just so you can visually see how they'll work. But yeah. Like we said, the first 3 events will run alongside each other, so there'll be 3 stations going along. The same for the next 3. We'll also have like an athlete area, spectator area, a food area. Yeah,
this sports hall is massive, so there's loads of room. We'll get loads of chairs, you know, so everyone can sit down. We'll set up a little athletes area. There'll be loads of chalk, which will be fun to clean
Everyone
up.
bring a Hoover with them.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's...
I think they're a really good set of events,
to
be fair.
So it's time to get training, really.
Not long.
I know, it's only like 6 weeks.
Yeah, but it's a good test, isn't it, to see how people can just get them focused and set ready.
So let us know. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.